Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we successfully installed some of the Visual Studio Code Editor extension which will be needed for our particular this React.js fundamental series. So make that sure you install all that extension. That will help you a lot. So now friend, in this video, I want to create some of the component. So there have the two type component in React.js. One is the functional component, another is the class-based component. So in modern React.js, functional component is the king. So that is the reasons in particular this series I will use not that class-based component, I will use only the functional component. Functional component is the type of the component that is defined using the JavaScript function. And functional component is also very easy to read and write, and that is very lighter. That means that is making them faster to render. Okay, so that is the reasons in particular this section I want to use some of the functional component. Like here, if you go to that our project, into the project area by default that is one of the app.js, right? So that is a app.js. So by default that is one of the component is React.js actually created. Right now I want to create one of the new functional component. Like right now I want to better make it as a clean. Okay, I want to remove everything from our app.js file. So in our previous video, I have installed one of the extension as a React.js code snippets. So with this code snippets extension, we can use some of the shortcut. So here, if you want to now create one of the functional component, then you can actually create it in shortcut version as a R. Here I want to use it as RSC. You can see it's also created some of the shortcut key as a React statement. So here I want to simply select it, and you can see it's now successfully created one of the functional component. So that is the reasons, friend, I told you that is very helpful. All that our extension, essential extension, I have already installed it. And you can see with the shortcut, we can actually create some of the functional component. That is our functional component. And by default, that is imported, that is a React. We don't need it. I want to make it as a clean. Okay, here that is our functional component total code. And here if you see, that is one of the array function. Right here, that is one of the array function which is denoted by this constant. So here, that is actually our file name, and our function name will be always the same. Like here, our file name as a app.jsx, and you can see and also our function name that is started with the app. So whatever the name you will be added in here, then automatically our function name also will be the same. Like here I show you into our src, that means in our source area, I want to create another new file, and I want to create another new component as a demo. So that will be the demo and JSX. Okay, so here I simply created one of the new one, and I want to create another functional component by shortcut as a RSC. Now click as a enter. Here we don't need that our React, and you can see by default that is our function name is also created as a demo, and that is our file name as a demo. Okay, I hope you get some of the idea. And if you go to that our app, and here as I told you, that is actually return one of the array function. So into the array function area, it's now return one of the div, and in particular this div area, whatever the things you will be added, that will be our total output. That means that will be our visual things that will be show in our front end. Okay, here like right now if you want to change it, like I want to do into the div area, I want to take another h1 tag, and into the h1 tag I name it as a I am Kazi Aryan. Okay, I'm just putting some of the name as a I am Kazi Aryan, right? And also in our main.js, I have already loaded our component as a app component. Now that should be loaded our this text. Now if you click as a save all, and now if you go, and now you can see it's now successfully display our component text, that is a visual text as a I am Kazi Aryan. Okay, so here I hope you get some of the point. That is our total array function. So into the function area, it's actually return one of the div, and into this div area, that will be actually render whatever the visual data you want to visible it, then that will be actually get it from here. Like I want to put one of the input. Okay, I put one of the input and type as a text type. I want to also use one of the placeholder. So that is a placeholder as a my name. Okay, I name it as a my name. And also after that, if you want to add some of the button, you can also add the button. I use that button as a submit. So that will be at the submit button. Now that should be display our name. It should be display one of the input field, and also it should be display one of the button. So that is actually the rendering. So it will be rendering our total return div. That means that will be visible it in our component area. Okay, now if you click as a save all, and now if you go, you can see it's now successfully displayed on the input field. It's successfully displayed on the submit button. So now that is actually loaded our one component right here. Now that is actually loaded our in our main.js area. I have actually loaded that our app. Here, that is also another component I have created as a demo. So into the demo area, in our particular this rendering position, that means in our dev area here, I also want to use another h1 tag. And into the h1 tag, I want to put some of the text as a this is from demo. Okay, I simply understand what exactly the things I want to do in here. So in here, that is one of the another component I have created as a demo. If you now click as a save all, and you can see it's not loaded. It's not loaded our new component that I have created as a demo component. It because of all in our main.js here only now that is loaded our app component. Here if you want to load that our demo component, you can also load it. In that case only you have to make it as a demo. So that will be as a demo, and you can see it's also imported. So I have already installed one of the extension here. When you select it, and you can see by default that is imported the demo from our demo.jsx. Okay, right now that is the demo that should be also loaded. Okay, now that should be loaded our first one as a app component, and then that will be loaded our another component as a demo component. Now if you click as a save all, now both of these components should be loaded in our main page. Yes, you can see that is loaded our first component, and that is also loaded our another component. So now also if you want to do another things, like here I want to remove it, and also I want to remove it the demo. If you now click as a save all, and now that should be display only one as a app, right? So into the app area here, if you want to load another component, in particular this component area, you can also able to do this work. In that case only we have to do, like right now I want to remove everything, and that is one of the functional component for the app, and in our main area that will be loaded only one component as a app component. So into the app.js area, I want to now load our demo component. So that is also another functional component. I want to load this component in here. So in that case only we have to load the simple things as a demo, and that is actually our demo. Here if you select it, and you can see it's now imported the demo from our demo. Okay, here you have to load this component. So here I simply loaded that our demo component. Now when you access it, by default that will be executed our app component. So into the app component area here, that will be load our, that is a function, and into this function area I have also loaded another component as a demo component. So now that should be display our, that is the text as a this is from demo. Let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, and now if you go, you can see it's now successfully load our demo component. I hope friend you get some of the idea how all that components actually work. Okay, so right now in particular that area I want to simply loaded our app related rendering data, so that will be loaded. We don't need that our demo. Here I want to remove it. Now click as a save all. Now that should be display as a this is main page. Okay, I make it as a this is main page. Okay, now if you click as a save all, now that should be auto updated as a this is main page. Great. So next video friend, I have already created some of the folder as a component folder. There is a pages folder. So here next video I want to create different type of component. Step by step everything will be much clear to you. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.